Rich Robbinson joining me now. Rich is from the bands, the Black Crowes and Magpie Salute. So good morning, Rich. Thanks for being on with me. I think it's kind of odd, though, that a rock and roller is up and ready to go early in the morning.
Yeah, exactly. Me too. I'm pretty amazed by it as well.
Isn't this usually this is like the bedtime rather than getting up and talking time? So I have to ask. First question is, what's the reason for the salute to birds with the name of the Black Crowes and Magpie Salute?
Well, we started out when I was a kid. We called the band Mr. Crow's Garden, and it was based on like a children's novel, and that's what our name was. But we kind of liked the connotation, so we, when we named the band, when we made our first record, we called it the Black Crowes, and I thought it was cool. And when I was putting this together, we had, Eddie Harsh from the Black Crowes, and Mark Ford and me, and Spin Pippian, and and Charity White, and I wanted to pay homage, but also, check out something new, like a new direction. And magpies, I've always liked the word magpie for whatever reason. And also, there's a superstition in the UK where, you salute a magpie when you see it to have good luck or to have a good day. And the way you salute a magpie is by saying, "Good morning, Captain," which is a Black Crowes song that I wrote. And so it's just, it's cool to be able to, there was that sort of synchronicity, And
right.
The Black Crowes and, crows in general have like a more darker connotation. Magpies can be white and black and have a more sort of rounded and dark, light with the dark. And I thought it was cool.
All right, well, I was just wondering, like I said, I was just like, Black Crowes, Magpie Salute. So over the years, you've had the opportunity to work with, a lot of great musicians. Who's been your favorite person to work with? As a fan, being able to, first tour we ever did was playing with Aerosmith, and then we played with Robert Plant, and then we played with AC/DC, and then we toured with the Rolling Stones, and played shows with Dylan and Neil Young, and played with the Grateful Dead before Jerry died, and played, pretty much anyone and everyone you could think of, and all of those things were really amazing. To me, playing with Dylan, and playing with the Rolling Stones, and then having Jimmy Page in our band for a year was amazing. You know what I mean? It was just to be able to, hear Jimmy play on my songs, and to have my band play his songs and show so much, he loved it, and that was such a cool thing, Well, actually, Rich, I posted on Facebook that I was going to be talking to you, and I asked people, I said, any suggestion of questions, and Dan actually wrote a question based on your answer there with Jimmy Page. What was it like playing with Jimmy Page, and how did he interact with the band overall?
We met Jimmy when Robert was putting Page Plant together, because one of our first tours was opening for Robert Plant, and so Robert's like, "Can I bring Jimmy down?" We're like, "Yeah, man, we'd love to meet him." So we were playing at the Albert Hall 3 nights in London, and he and Jimmy came down, I think, 2 nights. And we were able to meet him and hang out with him, and then we were going to Paris, so Jimmy flew to Paris to come hang out some more, He really loved the band, and we all loved the same music, and we all spoke about the same things and had very similar musical sort of roots, I suppose. And that's what was, and so he interacted, as far as I'm concerned, as like one of our friends. It was just cool to play with him and hear what he had to say. And then, but he would choose crow songs he liked. He liked the song called Horsehead. He loved to play on Angels and Remedy, and he would be like, "Oh, can we play on that one?" And, it's just really, really an amazing experience that you can't really think about until you're away from it,
Right.
When you're in it, you have a job to do.
Rich, when you look back at some of those things, do you pinch yourself and think, "Oh my God, this was me. This is what I was part of this."
Yeah, it's pretty amazing to think about. All the scope of kind of what we had accomplished and done, and then but how that also plays into what we're doing now is really the birth of this band really comes from the reverence of that, and the
and looking back and having like that moment, like shit, we did so much together. You know?
Right.
Mark did so much together. Stan and I have done so much together. Eddie and I, who passed away in November, but Ed and I, you know, what Ed brought to the table, playing with James Cotton and playing with Albert Collins, and you know, and all these sort of musical influences that he brought around too. I mean, all of those things.
Right.
Such a huge gift, you know.
Absolutely. Rich Robbinson joining us this morning from the Black Crowes and Magpie Salute. You know, you had the opportunity for many years to tour with your brother, Chris. Was it hard working with family, or is it hard working with family, especially when you're in a creative job like you guys do?
I mean, you know, it is hard working with family. I mean, and especially with the brother, younger, older brother dynamic. I'm the younger brother. And so, you know, it can be difficult. And there's some elements that are cool and some that aren't, you know. And but as success comes in and people change and move on and want different things, I kind of feel like I'm relieved that, you know, everyone's here because they want to be here, and it's really respects this music and this path where we can go in the future is really exciting to us. You know, we're going to make a record in January, February. We're going to, you know, we want to make a double album of all new material and go out and tour on it. You know.
So what's the process? You mentioned music. What is the process of putting together, you know, a new song? I know that you wrote "She Talks to Angels" when you were 15 years old, and now you're 48. Is the process different or changed at all in those 35 years?
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, there's more experience to draw from. You know, music is really life and experience, and it's a creative droplet of the filter. What I say is a filter. Everything we listen to, everything we see, everything we read and experience, love and loss and joy and misery, and you know, everything in between. Traveling, seeing these new things, playing with people like Bob Dylan. I mean, you know, and Neil and the Stones and all these bands and experiences, and then it kind of creates like what I call like a stained glass filter in your sort of psyche, that when you write, that everything comes through this filter and you put it down on, you know, when you write your song. Mm-hmm. But to me, ultimately, it just comes down to picking up the guitar and seeing what works and going from there. The difference is in the Crowes, I would write all the music and bring a song to my brother, and then he would write lyrics and put them on top of it.
Right.
In this band, I'm trying not to finish songs because I want Mark and John to write as well. So it'll be interesting to see where the three of us go, you know, for some of these songs.
In the is the album called? Because I got MP3s of 10 songs. The Magpie Salute, is that the name of the album?
Yeah.
Okay, so
I got a debut album.
So
and that was just recorded. You know, we weren't going to be a band. We weren't planning any of this. We were just playing these shows in Woodstock. I invited Mark and Eddie out to come play with us. And it was a weekend. We played over 3 days, and we played 75 songs, ranging from Black Rose songs to my solo stuff, and then some covers. And I thought, oh man, let's bring in Ed and Mark and see what they have to say. And so we did it, and then that was cool. It was it. And, you know, that was going to be really it. And then I went on and finished my solo tour. But there was something really special about that weekend, and I spent the rest of the time touring, like thinking, well, how could I put this together? What would this sound like? What would this be like? What could I call it? What songs would we play? And then just really work this whole thing out. And when we put up the shows in New York and they sold out in 20 minutes, we were like, oh, shit, there's people here who really want to hear this, you know?
Right.
And we started booking a tour, and I was like, man, we have a record. I forgot, you know, because it had been like, you know, 5 months before. I'm like, oh, we have that record of basically everyone in the Magpie Salute except for John Hogg. So we brought in John to do some vocals, and it worked. It was, you know, there's synchronicity there, and it was great.
That's awesome. Rich Robinson joining us this morning. So, as I mentioned, I listen to these songs, and to me, it sounds there's a lot of '60s undertones to me, and actually, a couple of songs kind of reminded me of maybe the Beatles. I mean, was that what you were looking for, or am I off base with my?
I think it's I think our approach is maybe 60s because in my opinion the 60s had the most sincere and pure approach. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Because it wasn't corrupted. It wasn't like done for commerce. Like all these guys, the Who and the Stones and the Beatles. I mean, they were playing their hits, and no one thought they were. They even said every interview you've ever read from those guys, like, we thought we'd be around for about 6 months, and that was it.
Right.
But once they kind of crossed that zone, it was just pure creation. They were just creating because they could. They didn't have anyone telling them, oh, this, the chorus is too long, or, cut the guitar solo. They just wrote these songs and played them. No one told Pete Townsend when he was writing Tommy, like, oh, take a break for a selfie, or, And so in that sense, I think maybe that's what there's a connect. Maybe there's a kindred spirit of how that music was made, because this is just pure music for us. This is what we made,
Right. Yeah.
That was really it.
Rich Robbinson, my guest this morning from the Magpie Salute and the Black Crows. So, did you ever sing Mrs. Robinson to your mom?
No.
I just thought I'd ask. Hey, I'd love to have another conversation with you sometime. We're working on putting together podcasts also besides the radio stuff. If we can set something up, I'd love to have more conversation with you, Rich, if that's ever a possibility. How does somebody find the new stuff that you guys are working on?
Yeah, we have a website and Facebook and all that stuff, all that brand stuff, and that shows what we're doing and where we're playing and what we're touring and all those things.
Awesome. I know you got to go because your guy said I got to be out by 59. So, Rich, thank you very much. Love to talk with you again sometime. If we can set that up, I'd appreciate it. Rich Robbinson, my guest this morning, of course, from the Black Crows and Magpie Salute here on today's Talk 1490. Thanks a lot for joining us this morning.